So hi everyone, today in this video we're gonna develop another solutions for another type of problems that we face today. And what's gonna be the problem today is gonna be the global food crisis. So what do you have to understand about the problems that we face is that they can be used obviously so to train some of the what I think it's better ways in the non-technical perspective to solve these problems. It's looking so for mental models, patterns that have been proven that are true, that happen. That's so you can be guided by them, and then so them being like machines that produces obviously specifically so type of solutions depending the type of problem that you're using these mental models for. And then so we're going to use some of these mental models to solve the global food crisis, obviously in a non-perspective way to see it, because I'm not someone that has all the information, has been someone that is not been studying whole this type of world that is the food production, the distribution, the consuming, and then so understanding where it's all your problems, and then so how to technically how to produce better, how to produce in higher quantity, or to produce in a way that the foods that are created have a higher type of increase so of the time that they so can be consumed and not so they get quickly spoiled. Obviously, yeah, it's a non-perspective way to see, but you see, it's something as well to show to you, or you just by knowing some of the mental models, you can already see perspectives of how to solve this problem. But then, so first, I'm a defender that you should always try to understand better the problem. And then, so what do we have? We have 80 we have so 828 million that people that face chronic hunger, and we have the economic cost that comes with that. We have 400 billion here in wasted food, more climate driven crop failures, and we have three crisis drivers for that. We have corporate land grabs, 1% of farms control 70% of arable land, climate chaos, and supply chain fragility are another type of things that seems to be a problem for people that have been specialized in this study. So the area. Climate chaos obviously tends to make it difficult to have arable lands to produce food. Supply chain fragility, so obviously it is the one that makes so what is produced to be distributed seems to be so that this supply chain is not kind of resilient, and obviously so by obviously the economic cost that people have to deal if you're kind of living in a type of oligarchy, so they can control better the prices of the good, making as well making difficult so for people that are a bit more poor to have access. So it seems to be things that have like the bottlenecks of this problem that make it so them being existing and create so this a number of people with chronic hunger, and other ones that obviously is not something chronic, but often they as well pass this hunger. But then so we have to look for the mental models and solutions as well, so you should more focus our attention on now that obviously after just and after so we have understood the problem. So first, tragedy of commons is a common thing that as well tends to happen in usage of this mental model, because it seems to be something that happens in the majority of the problems that we are at. So shared resources makes people have zero accountability towards the resources, and make it so these resources not being sustainable over time. And what's the idea is there is this tragedy of commons creates overfishing, creates deforestation, and creates soil depletion spiral. And it's obviously something that happens because not everyone is not the owner specific of that. Everyone is like a shared resources, a shared equity of the resources, and by not being something me, I'm not treating the same way as it was me. But then so understanding it, how you can fix it. So how to remain this being something that doesn't decrease so the potential in terms of quantity of food that you can produce in the long term. So what do you have? We have community fishing co-ops. We have the Canada's example that has some collective quotas that has seen that has so created cuts the overfishing by 30% in 2023, and land structures for small farmers. We have the Brazil's Movimento Sem Terra redistributed around 35 million acres to families, has made the crop diversity increase by 20 so 2000 not 2000 200%. Another thing that seems to be important is the circular economy. And what's the idea is that 30% of food routes pre-consumption, and then so we have to redesign waste as fuel. And then so what's the fix of that? We have the food waste perhaps. We have the Denmark's too good to go diverted 1 million, no, 100 million meals from landfills, and we have the insect protein farmers. The Kenya's Synergy turns organic waste into animal feed once it's around 1 ton a day. So CO circular economy that defends that some type of elements that are produced and are not just like the main resources that we produce in our industry, they should not go for waste. We should make it easier so them to get redistributed for creation of other actions and other behaviors in our economy. And so becoming more efficient with that, creating a circular economy, the strategy of commons more in a way to treat better so the resources that we have. The circular economy is a way that the resources being treated in the industrial zone, so not more already with the economic activities of the company, arrange a way so them to not spend the resources that are like the sub ones in terms of in comparison with the ones that they target. So three, precision agriculture could be another way to act. So what's the idea is that industrial monocrops fell in climate volatility, and so we have fixes the artificial intelligence soil drones. The India's cropline predicts pest outbreaks has saved around 500k farms in 2023, and the CRISPR drought-proof crops, the Ethiopia's gene-edited teff survives at 500 Celsius heat. And then so it's important to understand obviously how we can rearrange, we make a re-engineering of so the elements that are so the ones that produce our food, how we kind of so are able to change and mix the genes obviously so to make the, the food that we consume have different perspectives that makes it easier to produce in more lands or making it more resistible. So it's the evolution of technology could be so another way. So how to reduce waste of food and making some more people consume is making so a lot of the food that we produce having characteristics that make it able to be more resistant and then so get distributed for more people without so getting spoiled. Could be so a way to do it, or as well so increasing the efficiency of in comparison with the things that are put in the to seed, and also the ones that really so try to get consumed as well. See how you can do it is by investing a lot as well in the science and technology in this area. So anti-fragility as well, always thriving cows, centralized supply chains tends to collapse. So here we understand what's the why it's a problem, supply chains of food. And then so we have example of the Rewire is one of the most examples, mainly in terms of the cereals, but there's also what could be fixes for that. We have the Cuba's urban gardens, so we have 400k micro farms that feed 60% of Havana post sanctions, and blockchain grain reserves. The Ukraine's harvest contracts silo stocks during blackouts. 5. The blue ocean strategy, so create new markets. But what's the idea here is that competing for stable crops like wheat, rice fuels scarcity, but then so you can fix it. We have the algae superfood hubs, the Indonesia's green bounty farms, Swift for protein cakes, feeds 1 million a month with that initiative, and lab-grown meat forests. The Singapore's Shiok Meats grows mammoth DNA-inspired burgers. 6. Mimetic design, copycat consumption. What's the idea here is that food trends, avocado toast, quinoa, they inflate prices and displace locals. But then so how to fix that? We have the ugly produced campaigns. The France's law fines supermarkets for wasting imperfect veggies. 25% less of waste coming with that. And indigenous crop influencers, the TikTokers in Peru, they revived 200-year-old Andean grains. Fact, act a bit via negative, so subtract, don't add. What's the idea is that over-processing food strips nutrients and hikes costs. What's the fixes? Farm-to-table micro-hoops, the Kenya's twig food cuts 6 middlemen. The prices has decreased by 40%, and UNA junk food subsidies, the Mexico soda tax funded 10 K school gardens. And my last one is numbers, small scale trust. The idea is there that globalized agriculture erodes community trust. And then so how to fix that? Seed sharing circles, the Guatemala's Milpa network revived one 120 more heirloom corn varieties and hyperlocal CSA models. The Detroit's Food Commons feeds 5K via 5-mile radius farms. So I think this video has make you gain insights. I expect so with all these mental bubbles talk, it was enough to make like the channel to see what's so our perspective to see the problems. We can look and we could use another type of problem mental models, but then obviously seeing in a strategic way be becoming more efficiency. So what are the main bottlenecks that you can attack? So I expect it was enough to make like the video, to subscribe, and I hope to see so in other videos in this channel. Thank you and see you in the next one.